Plaintiff Cathy Elwell claims her ex-husband didn't pay his share of the bills during their divorce. She's suing for $1,888. Defendant Bill Elwell says he paid every penny of his child support. And because of that, he doesn't owe a dime to his ex.
Give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Case number 17 on the docket, Elwell versus Elwell.
The plaintiff, Ms. Elwell, you are suing the defendant, Mr. Elwell, in the amount of $1,888. Why don't we start from the beginning? Tell me what's behind this suit.
Bill Elwell is my ex-husband.
How long were you married?
We were married almost 20 years.
Okay.
Yep, and we had a great marriage in the beginning. We had a child, we had a house together, we had a dog, we had the whole thing, and then he cheated on me. And so then I'm like, I want to be done.
I wasn't the first person to have an affair in our relationship. She was. I worked it out with her when she did.
But before we could even get a divorce, he was unemployed, so we had to pay a bankruptcy filing fee because we had to file bankruptcy before we could do it because he didn't have a job. And so the bankruptcy filing fee, I had my half, but I couldn't pay the whole thing. And since he was unemployed, he didn't have his half. So I had to borrow half of it from a brand new boyfriend that I had. So I borrowed it from my boyfriend, Randy.
Yeah.
He should be paying his half. I shouldn't have to borrow it from a brand new boyfriend. He's my witness to say that I borrowed it from him.
Yeah, it was early in the relationship, and she asked me for $850 for his half, thinking that he would pay her, and then she'd pay me.
Okay.
Oh, you never manned up. You never paid her.
Okay.
Now, here we are.
All right.
Yep, I
I'm
have a
going to give
receipt.
you a chance afterwards, so I'm good. Yeah.
I have a receipt that shows that I paid the whole bankruptcy filing fee. It shows where I paid Randy back each month, $100 at a time, and he never paid anything. He agreed to pay it, and he just didn't pay it. He said, well, I'm not going to pay you back. And then I also had, in order to file bankruptcy, you have to pay for a pre and a post counseling fee, which I also paid for, and he said, well, I'll pay you back that.
Okay.
And so I have that as well.
What specific payments are you asking in this suit to be paid back for? You want your half back for what you paid for the bankruptcy fees. What is the other thing you're asking for money for?
I have a lot of things that he owes me back. He hasn't been paying his half of anything. We have a daughter together, and he isn't
but
paying
I want
for...
specifically in this suit, you're suing for $1,888. Please tell me what items.
Okay, I have a bankruptcy filing fee.
That's the one.
I have a pre and post filing fee that went with the bankruptcy. I have a dog, Scruffy. He was going to be put to sleep, and I said, I don't have the whole money. We said, he's our dog together, so he said, I'll pay for half of that, and then he just said, I'm not going to pay.
What I wanted to do was put our dog down naturally out in the woods myself. I offered to do that rather than go into a vet and have him chemically put to sleep. I thought it would be better for the dog. That was my offer at the time.
The reason that didn't go is because my daughter said nobody's going to shoot my dog.
Okay, fine. Okay, good. All right.
So that's when he said, okay, that's fine, I agree, he loves her, so let's go ahead and I'll pay for half if you have to take
Did
him
you
to the
pay
vet.
for half the dog?
No.
I mean, for half of
Yeah.
putting the dog to sleep?
No.
He did not.
When we split up, first of all, I didn't want to leave.
Okay.
She kicked me out. When I left, we owned a nice home together with an in-ground pool in the backyard that was worth a lot of money.
Yes.
I was entitled to half of the value of that home when we left. I walked away from it. I didn't ask for any money because I didn't want my daughter to have to move.
Untrue.
That's true.
Untrue. We had two houses. He got one house, I got the other house.
They got the house that we lived in, the legitimate house where they still live. Yeah. We did own another property at the time in another city that we had been renting out, which was going into foreclosure.
Yeah.
And she sort of gave me that as the consolation prize.
Third thing was the
prom.
The prom.
Yep, Katie
Your daughter's prom.
Our daughter, Caitlin,
Hi, Caitlin.
was very excited about going to the prom.
Yes.
And so it costs a lot of money. You got to have a lot of money. So we talked about it and said, well, Katie should go to the prom. And so we got a dress, and we did the whole thing, the corsage, and all of the things. And I have evidence to show that I paid for the
And how old are you?
dress.
I'm 18.
You're 18.
And he agreed to pay for half, and I see nothing.
Did you pay for half the...
I paid child support the entire time
I
that she was
understand.
growing
Did you
up.
pay for half of the prom?
No, and I honestly don't recall being asked to pay for half of the prom. I just assumed that was all under child support, which it actually is. And I have to say
Prom is
this
not under
too.
child support.
Can I just explain about the prom a little
Sure.
bit? It was really frustrating for me because they're always doing this back and forth with I'll ask for something and my mom will say, oh, ask your dad, and I'll ask my dad and he'll say, I pay child support, that covers it, and I'll go back to my mom. I just wanted to have a good time and like
Yes.
have fun getting ready at prom, and I'm always stuck in this go-between. And
Yes.
they're fighting all the time, especially about money. Like,
Yeah.
and I know they love me, and so I want them here at things like prom and like my graduation, and they can't always be there because they always have a back and
I
forth
was
about
there.
money.
I was
Okay.
at prom and
Okay.
graduation.
There's one other item too. When we did separate, we had between $25,000 and $26,000 in a joint bank account. We agreed that we would share that separately and be respectful. And then the next day, she went in, drained the entire bank account, and put it in her own name.
You could ask for it in the divorce. They had all the records of everything. My lawyer said put it in a new account because he was taking it for things he shouldn't have.
First of all, according to this complaint, you're asking for $100 for putting Scruffy to sleep. You're going to pay the $100 to put Scruffy to sleep?
Sure.
Okay, so the $100,
Can I do it with the money she stole from me?
I'm not getting into that. I'm only dealing, in fairness, with the $1,888 that you're suing for. And so, the first winner is Scruffy. So
What about the prom dress?
Well,
What about-
now the prom. You're going to pay half of the prom. I know you paid your child support. I get that.
And
I-
plus lots of other
And
things. I give you a
probably other
long
things.
list of things. that I-
Probably
No
lots
other
of other
things.
things.
No other things.
I'm not here to, but that doesn't matter.
At least I'm telling
This
you.
is your daughter here. There were expenses that your former wife paid the whole bill for the prom. To make your daughter feel okay about this, that at least on this issue, mom and dad aren't fighting, let's get together and say, we so love our daughter, we're not going to quibble on half the cost of her prom.
Right.
So therefore, you've paid your half,
You pay your
you'll
half.
pay the other half. On the bankruptcy filings, unless I don't have any written contract on that he's going to pay half of it.
Why would I have to pay the full filing fee?
That-
I paid it with all my own money.
You
should
should have
paid
dealt
half of
with
it.
that when you
Actually,
were
you paid it
going
with
through
our
the
money.
bankruptcy.
You paid it with
When
most
were-
of my money.
So you're going to get the $100 for Scruffy, and for your daughter, you are going to compensate your former wife for half the cost of the prom.
happy to give my daughter
And
anything she wants to
therefore,
always have.
that comes to $925 for the daughter's expenses, $100 for the dog fees. So I find for the plaintiff $1,025.
I'm glad that I got some money, but it would have been nice to get all the money that I was owed.
I'm happy they got it sorted out, at least mostly.
The main thing is I've always put my daughter first above everything. That's why I gave up the house. That's why I walked away and didn't contest when she stole all the money. I've always given my daughter everything that she's ever wanted. So to be painted like a deadbeat dad or something like that, or who didn't pay his share, is ridiculous. And unfortunately, my wife just wants to see me unhappy. I think that's what makes her. Did I say my wife? My ex-wife. Whatever makes me unhappy makes her happy.